So over the weekend, going into the weekend on Friday, we had to put Bowser to sleep. Man, it's so awkward saying the words. I feel like I don't even know how to quite say it. And, you know, Dan is with me because Bowser was, I mean, he was our dog, but he was Dan's dog. And this was not a decision we came to lightly, you know, when Dan and I were first talking about this and just how this was all going to unfold and just having conversations around it. One of the things that we said, or I said, was I was like, people aren't going to get it. Like, people are going to be upset. And Dan's response was, oh, that was a bird. Dan's response was, nobody's going to be as upset as I'm upset, or as upset as I am. And so that's the position that we're in today. So I feel like, I don't know, do you want to say hi? I feel like I'm just like talking.
Well, I mean, we've had Bowser for almost a decade, and he's for those of you who know him or have been around him, he's an angel, but you know, he likes to get rowdy, and that's part of the reason why I liked him. You know, one of the things that I liked about him, but you know, for many years, for most of his life, he was an extremely dangerous animal outside the walls of my house. So he was definitely an outside animal that I had to keep inside.
Well, and Bowser was attacked when he was a puppy, and we never really talked about that very much. But that was a big turning point in Bowser's personality. So prior to the attack, Bowser could go to dog parks. Bowser was just calmer in general. And then after the attack, it just triggered something in him. And he was attacked by another bull terrier, actually my parents' old bull terrier. But it's something that can happen with the breed. And so ever since then, things really took a turn.
Well, I mean, I don't need to get, there's been multiple instances, but you know, we could have put Bowser down a really long time ago, and several times, and just been putting the day off.
Because you don't want to make that decision. That's the thing.
Yes,
when you love an animal, you don't want to make that decision.
Yes, he's seriously injured a couple different dogs, including Zoe, who's standing right here. I've had her stitched up a couple times.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But you know, it's he's such a powerful animal that just the tiniest fraction of a second of just a oops, you know, and he doesn't mean it, or like he snaps out of it, and it's just it's not good. It's so it just got to a point to where you know, I had a son and it didn't work out for them.
Do you not want to share the specifics of that?
Once Logan got to the point of being able to crawl around and run around by himself, you know, he's really grabby too. He grabbed onto Bowser's ear, and Bowser didn't do anything. You know, he's that calm, gentle giant that lives in my house. But you know, Logan got him so good that if you know what an MMA fighter looks like or a wrestler, they have that cauliflower ear, it just balloons up. That's what happened to Bowser's ear. You might have gotten a couple glimpses of it in a couple videos, but it fully ballooned up, and it took about a month for it to go back down, but now it's scarred a little bit. And you know, hey, just there was one incident that happened. Bowser got Logan in the face, and it actually happened 20 minutes before we were supposed to leave to the airport to go visit her parents. So obviously it wasn't bad, but Logan still is
has a little mark.
He's still healing up from a little mark on his face from Bowser's little, we call him his dolphin teeth. So
And it happened in a way that, like, I mean, it almost doesn't matter because the end result was the same. But in the spirit of telling the story, it wasn't like Bowser attacked Logan. Just like you said, it was like
defensive.
Yeah, Logan tried to take food from him. Oh, sorry to close the window. Yeah, it happened in a moment where Logan stole food from him and, you know, really got in the mix.
You know what I've always done with my dogs is I get really close to them and I get in their business while they eat, because I don't want a mean dog. I don't want my little babies coming next to him while he eats and him bite their hands off. So I get him used to this. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I've always done it. And he's a good boy.
Logan stole food from him and, you know, really got in the mix.
I don't want my little babies coming next to him while he eats and him bite their hands off. So
Logan stole food from him and, you know, really got in the mix.
I don't want my little babies coming next to him while he eats and him bite their hands off. So
Like that lady said, you're always waiting for the worst thing to
right?
happen, and eventually it's like, is it going to get to a point to where someone else has to put him down, or I'm forced to do it because of something that horrible happened?
Yeah, well, can I, sorry, you
Yeah.
look like you're about to segue into something.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say two things. One, so, I mean, geez, I have so many thoughts around this. As you guys know, we're getting ready to move, and we haven't said where, so if you're like, where are you moving? It's because we haven't said it yet. But, you know, we weren't sure what was gonna happen with Bowser, because every time we move with Bowser, it is hard because he's special needs, like he said. So there's a lot that goes into transporting Bowser and even picking a new home for Bowser. Like, there's a lot to consider in that. And so it was really like, it was weird to have him attack Logan, you know, right before we're going to different places to possibly look to move. And this was not what we expected. So the way,
well, nobody knows how to take care of Bowser except for me. He has to stay inside. I have a backyard. He can go out there, he's fine, but once another dog barks outside from around the neighborhood, or he hears a jingle from a dog collar, he's bipolar, so he goes into this other mode, the hair stands up on the back of his neck.
But it got harder the older he got because, you know, when he was a baby, it was like Bowser wouldn't, you know, Bowser wasn't going to go out of his way to aggress on Logan. So everything was fine. Like, but once he got older and he could move and he got feistier, it was Logan in Bowser's space. And Logan couldn't help but grab at him and try to steal things from him and try to interrupt him when he was eating or scream at him. And so it was almost kind of unfair to Bowser because it was like, he's a good dog-ish. And then we told you we mourned him years ago thinking he was gonna have to go because of those things. But he wasn't doing really anything to Logan. But the problem was once Logan got older and once Bowser crossed that line, I mean, I don't even feel like we have to explain it.
Bowser's new routine is, you know, he's got his one little corner and he's taking a rest. If Bowser's in the mood and his attention is on him, he'll walk over to Bowser, and Bowser doesn't want to get grabbed on, so he knows he has to get up and move.
Every time.
So he would,
so he
has
be
to
sleeping
get up quickly.
or relaxing. It's like, oh,
yes, and it's always accompanied with a growl. So he's always, it's like a grumpy
like,
growl, and I have to move, and he'll move to the next spot. And then if Logan follows him, it's a growl and move. And so
yeah.
I gotta split them up, and so that was, you know, that wasn't the thing all the time because Bowser could come over to Logan with a wagging tail.
Yeah,
and Logan's
play with
not
him,
grabbing at him, and Bowser's licking the food that's on his face, you know.
Yeah, things just became more complicated in this mid phase of like he's not a baby, but he's not old enough to know better how to control himself really. And so that just made Bowser really unpredictable. And thinking that like, God willing, we have more children, well then it's gonna start all over again. And then who knows what kind of chaos is gonna be there with 2 kids. It was really rough after, you know, it happened on Friday and we woke up and had a really great day with him. You know, he was fed really good food, taken on a really beautiful outdoor drive. The weather, unlike today, was perfect. It was so beautiful. We played with Bowser in the back and soaked up the sun and just relaxed with him. And like I mentioned, we did it at our house, so we paid for the anesthesiologist person to come over, and it was good that we got to do it there. He had another dog of his in the past that had to be put down because of illness and age, and you know, had to do it the more traditional way at the facility, and we were just like, we couldn't do that. So
I got a special bull terrier muzzle. It's like, you know, it's got to be able to fit their head, you know, their nose and their head are like the same. So
it's a cone. Yeah.
So I didn't want to have to put him in that and then him get super anxious or pissed or whatever being around, you know, a new place. It's obviously scary. He knows what's happening.
And then we're stressed. We're like having to call them ahead of time and be like, okay, we're about to come in the door. Is everyone secure? Like, it was just, so thank God we were able to do that. You sounded like you were going to say something.
No, it's just the worst day.
It was the worst day. It was amazing because, you know, everything comes to an end.
Attached these photos to that Instagram post. I want to read a few comments that viewers made on Instagram. This is actually despicable. I keep coming back to this post because I truly cannot believe you are that.
And if you're going to have, you know, if you have to have an end, which everything does, it was a beautiful, perfect ending in our living room, in our arms, calm You know, he only had one moment of tension, which is when he first, you know, used the needle on him. He freaked out a little bit, but then he calmed right down, and we were able to hug him and kiss him and hold him and thank him, you know.
Now I think the Bull Terrier is my favorite animal, period.
Oh.
So.
We are still adopting. We're just not adopting from Thailand anymore. So
You want to explain why?
But also Thailand has its own law that's unique to it, that after you pick up your child and they're your child, you are not allowed to talk about them or share any images, photos, videos, anything about them online for a year.
Yeah, and that